This week on the podcast, where are we to go now that we've gone too far?
Welcome to the Magnificently Huge Podcast with your hosts, Eric Reed, Brian Kruger, and Chris Ryerson. Three idiots who decided to slap an adverb together with an adjective to bring you one magnificently huge discussion each week about the movies and pop culture we kinda like, maybe even secretly love, before we ultimately crap all over them. We're not here to save the world, we're just here to make it weirder, one podcast at a time. This is Magnificently Huge.
Welcome, everyone, once again to the Magnificently Huge Podcast. My name is Brian, and this week I got around to making my friends Chris and Eric do a show about Twilight Zone, the movie. Twilight Zone, the movie. Hey, we were Gen Xers. We were raised on reruns of the best Twilight Zone, the original 1960s Rod Serling black and white mindfuck. And all of its permutations, and come around 1983, and there's a movie version. We've got the Steven Spielberg presents Twilight Zone, the movie, hits theaters, and it's an anthology movie. It has 4 different, we'll call them episodes, and we're going to talk about it. You'll get the details. Check the timestamps to find out when we talk about it, and see what else we're up to as we ramp up to that in our segment called The Fresh Shit. As always, if you want to reach out to us, go to our website, maghuge.com, maghugE.com. Got links to all of our socials, and you can email us at magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com. Help us grow the show. Share it with your friends on social media. Rate us on iTunes. You know the drill. Subscribe to the podcast, and let's go travel to another dimension.
Hello.
Hi.
Well,
How
hey, everybody.
Are you?
It's the Magnificently Huge Podcast.
I'm talking over you now.
No, you're not.
Isn't that ironic? Nobody was talking when I did that.
It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a death row pardon.
Wow. Chris is just speaking in music
in
quotes.
tongues.
Yeah.
In tongues.
Lucky
Help,
us.
I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. Places a madhouse. Feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under the moon and star.
Oh, you've gone too far. You've gone too far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Hi, everybody. It's the show. My name is Brian.
I'm Chris.
My name's Eric.
Yeah.
Hey.
We did it.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone episode. Almost 8 years in the making.
Yeah.
Feels like getting blown.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think we touched on this one loosely when we did our Joe Dante show. Years ago.
We did.
But I am shocked that Twilight Zone has never come up as a topic until now.
I'm a little shocked as well, and we're going to rectify at least the movie part of that this week on the podcast. But you have to check the show notes to find out when, because that's not what we're going to do. We never start the show with the topic.
We are cutting to the chase so fast now. God damn it, we are pros. Do it, Brian. Do it. Get us there. Bring us home.
We start off with a segment, and that segment is called The Fresh Shit.
This shit is fresh.
Oh, shit, that is fresh.
This stuff is really fresh.
Fuck yes.
I'm
right
so
on.
Excited. I'm
Brother
so
man.
excited.
Okay, so our last episode was all fresh shit all the time, and it got long enough that I actually still had some in reserve for this.
See, I knew you would.
So
you don't have you didn't have what you described as a fire hose of fresh shit.
I really didn't.
I think you overestimate like the amount of things that you need.
Well, previous years, I have absolutely brought the fire hose to the fresh shit.
That's true.
On the January show,
but that's fine.
Can we talk a little bit about trailers for a second? Like, have you seen the Supergirl trailer?
No, I haven't yet.
No.
I saw the Supergirl in the Superman movie, so I imagine it's similar.
So what if Guardians of the Galaxy but Supergirl, I think is what we're saying here?
From James Gunn?
Right.
Come on. I am doubting your word, sir.
And is that like, okay, I believe they announced the whole James Gunn thing is going to fall apart now too, right?
Well,
I mean, what's going
we'll
on
see.
here?
If they're making money and then whoever buys them. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. It's just superhero stuff is not quite the surefire bet it used to be.
No, it is not. This one,
yeah.
apparently the comics Supergirl did have a, drunk, ne'er-do-well Supergirl incarnation, so that's what they're doing.
I mean, I didn't think that.
Yeah, now
I didn't
I
think
remember.
I didn't think James Gunn just like pulled that out of thin air. I mean, it's based in something, right? So yeah.
The girl from the new House of the Dragon show is Supergirl.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and you get a brief glimpse of Jason Momoa as Lobo in this trailer.
Not Aqualung.
Nope,
Lobo.
he's Lobo.
Okay.
Which, frankly, he always should have been Lobo because he just looks like Lobo.
Sheriff Lobo?
So
Lobo!
wait. Didn't Brolin play Lobo in one of them Deadpool movies? Or am I thinking of a different one?
He played
That's
Cable.
not even... Yeah, that's not even the same comics shop, but anyway.
Okay.
Does it
thank
matter?
You for setting me straight.
It doesn't
Thank you
matter.
for setting me straight. I appreciate that.
I think it wasn't it Claude Atkins who played Lobo originally?
Oh, Sheriff Lobo.
Yeah, Lobo.
And he was always chasing BJ McKay and his best friend Bear.
Yeah, the mighty
Who was
Sheriff
among-
Lobo. Just like Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh my God.
I can feel Brian's eyes rolling in the back of his.
I mean, it's no stupider than the Supergirl trailer. So
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
I mean, all I'm going to do is I'm going to refrain from singing any XTC because that's all I can think of now.
yeah.
So,
He is our Sheriff Lobo, mighty Sheriff Lobo.
Well, that's really super of you, Chris.
you're welcome.
So the other trailer that's making all the hubbub, of course, is that they started dropping teasers for the Avengers Doomsday. Have you seen
Don't
any of this
care.
nonsense?
Nope.
So
I'm out of the loop.
So they're bringing back Steve Rogers. They've got Chris Evans back as Captain America.
I thought he was
because-
playing Captain, like whatchamoozies.
Well, he's
the bad
playing
guys.
Steve Rogers. We don't know if he gets the Captain American name, if he steals it back from the other guy or
Robert
not.
Downey
or-
Jr. is playing Von Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Victor Von Doom.
So, but I think what was noteworthy about this isn't that they're doing that, because whatever. It was that for a few days there was this leaked trailer revealing Chris Evans was in the movie, and nobody was really sure if it actually leaked or if it was just somebody making an AI fake of a leaked trailer that looked like somebody recorded it in the theater screen.
And here we are. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't. It was in fact a real trailer. But we're in a
believe
world
that's-
now where
I can't
you have
believe
no
that's where we are
idea.
now. It's like anytime I see a trailer now, and I'd be like, "That's bullshit. Come on." Like are they doing like Lethal Weapon 5 is actually happening? Correct. Like the minute I see that, I'm just gonna be like, "You really are too old for this shit. Just stop it." So
God, that movie was like 40 years ago. He was too old for
right?
that shit. Please no. Oh
too old for
God.
this shit. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, apparently
Doomsday.
that's real. No,
Is
so I mean, it's Doomsday. It's going to have everybody from Marvel in it, and who knows?
Is this their seg into bringing the X-Men into the MCU now?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I mean, they've got the entire like 2000s cast of X-Men in this thing, so it's not like they're bringing a fresh new cast in. So
I mean,
I've
would you
realized
expect
what
them to?
the problem they have. They don't have a point of view. That's ultimately the problem. They don't have like a reason to make any of these movies. They need to start hiring people who are like, they're going to write and direct it. They're going to have a very specific thing they want to get done, and they'll make it good. That's why that first round of MCU movies were good. That they had their own sort of artistic direction, each of them. Joe Johnson doing Captain America is perfect.
Counter argument.
Kenneth Branagh doing Thor is perfect. It's like they're doing their own thing, but they're adding into a larger whole. Instead of the point being, make all the goddamn movies exactly the same because we got to stitch them into an Avengers movie at the end of the year.
counter argument: James Gunn's DC universe.
Wow, that was one guy doing all of the things. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not-
fair.
Yeah.
So it's just
Plus, if we're gonna base that whole thing on the Superman movie, I'm still shaky. Honestly.
Well, I'm going to base it off of not just that, but Creature Commandos, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and the Supergirl trailer, and the fact that we're getting a Clayface movie next year.
I'm interested in that one. I will be honest.
He did Guardians of the Galaxy, which was, again, it had its own point of view, it had its own reason for existing, and yet it was part of the MCU. But the rest of the MCU did not become a James Gunn thing.
True.
It's like, unfortunately, they all decided, we have to have quippy humor every 2 minutes to undercut anything real going on.
Yeah.
So in that way, they did change everything. But
so anyway, I
assume you'll go see this. Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably see all of it, but whatever. I'm a whore.
Once I couldn't finish Superman after 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't finish Superman, the easiest of comic book things. I think I'm really done. I think I can legit say I haven't watched any of the new MCU shit because I can't. No, that's not true.
Every superhero movie, Eric says this, and then he comes back to the fresh shit with another one that he's seen.
Yeah,
I
think I
they'll
really
get you. They'll get you.
When you can't finish Superman, for Christ's sake.
I'm a little surprised you couldn't finish the new Superman. I thought it was all right.
I think let me just postulate this. I think what Eric needs is Batman v Superman in order for things to click.
That.
Yeah.
Yes. And you don't have the 36 hours awake. If I'm awake for 36 hours and I've crunched up and snorted all my Ritalin, then I think that
Brian,
would be...
I can't even explain to you, Brian, how sublime it was to just get a text from Eric going, I just watched Batman v Superman. It really wasn't that bad. And then 2 days later going, holy fuck, what was I thinking?
Well, Eric's
in a teacup.
Yeah, Eric's whole life is about building regret. So
it was so perfect. I will never forget that.
God, every memory I have is cringe. It is so true.
Yeah.
Well, you would have a regretful memory. I don't know if you would or not, but you probably would if you had joined me this weekend. So we were like, we do want to go to a movie. What's playing? Well, we're not going to go see Avatar Lava Level. It's not happening.
Okay.
And so what else is there? Well, we were like, the song Sung Blue sounds like fun because we like Hugh Jackman and it's the Neil Diamond. But we watched the trailer and we're like, well, now we've seen the whole movie. Shit. So what did we end up seeing? What did our wondering eyes should appear? But somehow there's a new movie called Anaconda in the theaters.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I did not know this was coming.
I didn't realize it was out already.
It is out, and I went and saw it yesterday. So Anaconda is back.
You don't want none unless you got buns, hon.
But it's the fact that they've got fucking Jack Black and Paul Rudd, though. It's like, holy Christ.
So the conceit of Anaconda 2025 is that Sony so does not give a shit about the rights to the IP of Anaconda that a failed actor can get the rights to it and convince his failed buddy who he used to make VHS movies with as a kid, Jack Black, to go to Brazil to shoot a reboot of Anaconda that he gets the rights to it. And that's the movie. Is that.
I mean, how do you top it, though? Because the first one had Eric Stoltz, it had J-Lo, it had just all Ice Cube.
You top it by getting the guys who made The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent to come in and make a movie about guys who know that movie exists because they talk about it, and they're making the reboot, reimagining, legacy sequel, whatever, to Anaconda. So what the fuck is this thing? I was reading an interview, and I guess the Sony people came to those guys after Massive Talent, and they're like, hey, do you have a take on Anaconda? And they were like, no, man, we don't have a take on Anaconda.
Yeah, pitch me.
And they're like, because I guess they've been getting like 50 or 60 pitches that they hate over at Sony. And so they came back with, well, what if we use the Anaconda IP to get a comedy greenlit, because that's the only way to get anything greenlit, and it's The Big Chill, but then it turns into Anaconda, and this got made.
That's crazy.
I imagine it was Jack Black going, well, you know that movie I did, Be Kind, Rewind? Let's do that, but with a snake.
And so, yeah,
You're probably not far off.
It's like it's a cross between, like, it's got shades of that Jumanji reboot thing, I guess, and
well, I think this
also Anaconda, like, it actually is an anaconda eating people.
Well, no, it actually makes sense, because I'm looking it up now, and the guy that directed it is also one of the writers of that last Beverly Hills reboot. The Axel F
they wrote
one.
Axel F.
So yeah, so it's treading into that kind of territory.
But was it good? Very meta movie. I mean, I laughed. As a comedy, it works. As a giant snake eating people movie, no, of course it doesn't work.
I mean, the first one doesn't even work like that, so
yeah,
you're fine.
But in that sense, it's Anaconda, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, my Anaconda don't want none unless it's got buns, hun.
Well, in this movie, that Anaconda
proud.
don't want none, and then you have to edit the last part of that phrase out because they know it sucks, and they just leave it. It's.
I mean.
Yeah, there's so many needle drops. It's a very Gen X movie, actually.
I mean,
Eric, the only thing I say is that the soundtrack could get you ready for the '90s cruise. But is this worth your time? No, probably not. I mean, it's one of those catch it on streaming, don't go to the theater like I did situations.
I mean, but it also sort of like they already did Piranha. So it's like, does this one need to exist? Probably not. But sure.
Well, does Anaconda need to exist? I give them credit for, if you're going to goddamn put out a new Anaconda movie, at least they did it with the knowledge that whole notion is dumb, and let's make a movie about that.
Yeah. Well, it just reminds me of this is a total sidebar, but I had this like weird, like half awake dream a week or two ago. And basically came up with a concept for a horror revenge movie called Cratchit. And basically all of the stuff that happens in A Christmas Carol does not change Scrooge at all. And then Tiny Tim does wind up dead, so Cratchit goes on a murder spree of vengeance against Scrooge.
I have nothing left to lose. I'm destitute. Yeah. My child is dead.
Basically. And so, yeah, Merry Christmas, motherfucker. That's like the... Anyway.
I've told you my Christmas Carol sequel idea, right?
Probably. Does it involve Muppets?
No, that Scrooge changes, but he doesn't. It doesn't change his character as much as it fills him with terror. So he's nice to everyone, but he's always nice to everyone in an absolute panicky way. And as a result,
afraid
his company
the ghost
goes
will
under.
Return.
And Cratchit has to start like fudging the books, and then basically the law comes for all of them, and they all end up in prison. And
he's like John Lithgow in the Twilight Zone movie. The ghosts are real. The dead live. Yeah. All right. What do you guys got? More fresh shit. Bring it.
We finally just kind of ran out of options on our normal streaming stuff. So my wife decided to get BritBox again.
Okay.
She's got a bunch of shows on there. Like they do the whole run of Poirot with David Suchet, which is just a nice guilty pleasure. But there's a new show, well, new-ish, with David Mitchell, one half of Mitchell and Webb, called Ludwig, which on paper sounds absolutely just asinine. But basically, he plays a reclusive puzzle maker who goes under the pen name Ludwig, and so he's like a very, for lack of a better comparison, he's like sort of like Monk from that show, and he's got a twin who was a police officer in Cambridge who's disappeared, and the guy's wife, who's a childhood friend of them, so she knows him very well, calls him in because she knows he can solve puzzles, and so she enlists him to help find her husband, his brother, and so he has to impersonate his brother, who's a DCI for the Cambridge police, etc. And so as he's trying to find clues to to figure out what happened to his brother. He gets drawn into all of the murder mysteries of the day. Like they go to the case and then he figures it out and he can't let it go because he's just very OCD about puzzles. And so he ends up solving these cases. So it's just like, it's your typical British detective show, but the twist is just ridiculous.
So is Mitchell playing it straight or is it a comedy?
It's sort of a drama.
Does not say funny. Okay, whatever you just did.
Well, no, it's still funny, and it's very character driven stuff. So it's kind of at times it's lighthearted, but at the same time he's so obsessed with puzzles that you can just I feel very anxious watching his performance because you can tell he just can't let this shit go, and that's sort of what drives the narrative.
Sounds like Monk was a good comparison because that wasn't funny either.
Well, this one though is because David Mitchell just has a very light touch about it. I don't really, if you don't like his shtick to begin with, you may not care for this, but it's literally just sort of a toned down version of his character on Peep Show, because he's just very antisocial, doesn't like because of past childhood trauma, this and that and the other. But his interactions are just really funny with the rest of the team because he's like walking around like a deer in the headlights. Like they're going to find me and arrest me because I'm impersonating a police officer, but nobody seems to notice that he's not his brother. Even though he's just like
probably
making, yeah.
No, I'm just thinking it's probably because of all the chat shows I see them on, but I think him and Richard Ayoade would make a great show together because they're both that kind of locked in their heads, victim of their own habits thing.
So this has got to be a geographically isolated thing, but the impression one gets is that it must be miserable to be an actor in the UK because the same 12 people are in fucking everything.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
And yet, when I tuned into, I'm not really bringing this for friendship, but I am watching The Celebrity Traders, which is a UK, and I only recognize 2 of the celebrities.
Interesting. You need to watch more of their panel shows. That's where a lot of these people show.
Yeah, the only 2 that I know on the show. Of course, they've got Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
But the only other one is Jonathan Ross, right? And all of these other names I've never heard of.
Well, this one, unless you watch a lot of BBC stuff, you probably won't recognize most of the folks. But one of the big names that shows up in one of the side characters is Ralph Ineson, who recently played Galactus in the Fantastic Four movie, etc. So it's just, but what I like about this one so far is that every episode, it's like you've got the broader series narrative of solving the mystery, but within each episode, you've got the mini mystery, which is him actually having to be the cop and just running rings around all of his colleagues because they're very by the book, and he just sees it as just a logic puzzle or like a number puzzle or whatever, and he just boom, 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 and is out. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're a genius. Meanwhile, he doesn't know how to drive a car, so he's always parking oddly. And it's sort of like if you were that police department realm, you'd be like, what is wrong with him? There's just something off. And so it's just they're playing on all of that. But it's Monk-like, but it's better than Monk. I don't know how to explain it. But if you ever
better
watch
than
it,
Monk, Chris Ryerson.
Yes.
That goes on the box. Okay.
It's good. But David Mitchell, I like him in just about anything. It's like you say with Richard Ayoade. It's just sort of, he's got that sort of branded persona, and he's very much in it in this one, but he's, unlike in Peep Show, he's not someone that you want to just reach to the screen and just fucking punch. You know what I mean? It's like he's very relatable in his obsession, and it works somehow in this one. So it's good, and I think they got renewed for a series 2. So the word on the street is people are just saying if they get at least 3 or 4 series, he will become a national treasure. That's kind of the vibe. So it's, take that.
David Mitchell is already a national treasure for the UK. He doesn't need another series of Ludwig. Anyway, what else have we got, guys?
Yeah. What do you got, Eric?
I took advantage of the Black Friday deals to buy a video game. See, I was not going to. I was interested in this game, but they charged like fucking way too much money for it. And then the deal I got on this, I was like, okay, now I will finally. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2.
I hear good things about it.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple months ago that I got like way deep into Warhammer lore without having played any of the games or anything, just reading the stuff. And it's really grim shit, and I dig it. And then Brian pointed out, no, they do have actually a lot of video games. I looked into it, and God damn it, they do. And I was right. They do have a kart racer. They do have a 40K kart racer. What?
Which is what you need. It's exactly what you need.
Wow.
I mean, that's like a spoof of unnecessary video games.
That's deep. Okay.
So Space Marine is a hack and slash kind of walk through, a level killing shit. And the first one, got good reviews. I had never played it or saw it, but they said it was limited by its technology. This uses a new swarming engine they wrote just for this game so that you can have, like a lot of little rodent-like aliens coming at you all at once, and just you hack and you slash, and it's bloody fun. It's simple. It's not the kind of game I normally play. There's no
You don't do the hack and slash normally.
It's a
no. There's no there isn't a very large. There's not a very large environment. There's not much in the way of strategy. It's just walk through and kill shit, and now and again block shit, and then kill shit.
Okay.
But that part's really fun.
I thought it was more of a
how could it not
first-person
be?
shooter. You're making it sound more like a sword play thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's a third-person hack and slash. It's a shooter. Yeah,
Okay.
But I rarely go to guns. It's usually the chain sword, which is what it sounds like, a chainsaw sword, and really, like graphic deaths, but they don't call it a graphic death because they're only lizards. If this were people, this would be X-rated. But,
So it's sort of like Duke Nukem, that kind
It's
of vibe.
like Gears of War, actually, is what it sounds more like. Gears of War with a lot more with a lot more aliens on the screen.
Gears of War, but you never take shelter. There's nothing about take shelter. There is only run into it and keep killing. And
actually, Starship Troopers would be a better reference here, maybe.
Yeah,
but
anytime the gameplay requires you to hide, it's like, oh, thank you for like interrupting the action. This one, you just better keep moving, and it really works. It is fun. It is for such a one note kind of game. It's fun. I am glad I got a deal on it. I would not have wanted to pay full price for basically just hacking at shit. But also, if
Hours of
you dig the
enjoyment.
lore, it helps if you're into the lore. Otherwise, this really makes no sense.
So you're playing this on a Series S, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that hold up? Because it looks like a pretty heavy graphically. Like the game has pretty strong graphics. Does it hold up on the Series S?
Yeah, it's not stalling. It's not like bugging out.
Okay, and it's not all blurry and weird looking. Okay, nice.
But then again, I don't really have like a point of comparison.
You don't have a frame of reference. It's good enough for you. So good.
I can't. And now that they're talking about the next generation of things, I'm like, I'm not sure how much I need that. Does anybody?
Well, actually, so what's really happening is they're kind of not, because the AI thing is sucking up all of the RAM and silicon basically that can get made, because the profit margins for selling your chips to the AI people are like an order of magnitude more profit than selling it to gamers.
Right.
And so the price of everything is skyrocketing. Meanwhile, the games can't make back their budgets because it takes so much money to make these really graphically intense games.
And all the AAA studios are eating shit, where like these small in-house places that have a simple idea but do it well. they're getting all the reviews.
So I think we're kind of going to hit a plateau for the next many years where games are going to have to be built to target machines like the one you've got, because that's all anybody can afford.
Right.
And you're going to be fine for a while, honestly.
Because I heard that Microsoft was trying to put together their next gen one because they're they're eating shit with this.
Oh, they will, but it's going to
cost
cost $1,000.
Yeah.
And that's basically what Microsoft is saying there is, we're going to see if we can make a cheaper gaming PC, but not an Xbox necessarily. Right? Okay. So you kind of got your PlayStation and your Nintendo Switch as your two consoles at this point. Right. And again, there's really still no justification for the PlayStation 5, let alone another one. So
and a lot of the Xbox like exclusives are now on PlayStation. I mean, it sounds like they're just going to move into software and get away from this expensive.
They're pulling a Sega, which is fine. Yeah. That's fine. Make your money. Pretty much. And even Sony is putting their stuff out on other machines. They're putting a lot of it on PC because, again, it costs so much to make these things that you have to maximize your addressable market.
Right. And a quick thing. I do this every year. I reload Elden Ring, and I finally beat Elden Ring by uninstalling it again.
Oh, boo.
There is like absolutely no ramp up for skill. It is difficult from the very beginning. It is unforgiving to the point of not being fun. I despise
That's because you keep trying to fight that fucking horse guy right at the beginning. You got to run away from him.
I'm like, no, because the very in the training level where you're like in a cave with one dude, it's basically you beat him by constantly hitting the roll button so that you do that somersault roll.
Yeah,
that is so much fun. I love a game where all I do is somersault and then stabby somebody and then somersault, stabbies, somersault. It's like there's basically it's admitting this is the only way to play this is to sort of life hack the game. I don't know. I can't understand how this game is popular. It's just
what you're missing, because I can understand because I'm the one who gave it to you, is yes, rolling around is your beginner strategy, but eventually you learn how to like play both defense and offense in a way that is intentional as opposed to just random rolling around. And the satisfaction comes from sort of solving the puzzle of how do I even deal with this otherwise insurmountable situation. And then beating it. So there is just this moment, but you have to have a little bit of masochism because the game will just sit there and smack you around for a while until you sort of solve the situation and you're like, yeah, fuck you, game. Yeah, that's pretty much where the satisfaction comes from. If you don't like that, then it's not for you.
It's like okay, blocking an attack is you press the button, you hold up your shield, and then you put it down so you can block an attack. The problem is the attack is like, they take their sword, they pick it up, they hold it behind their back, they take a step, and then they so it's like there's 5 actions that goes into their attack, and there's one for blocking it. It's like, this is nuts.
Well, they're doing that because they're trying to telegraph the animation. So what you ultimately learn is by watching how they move, what they're about to do to fuck you up and how to counter it. But yeah, you're either into that or you're not. I think it's great. I am fully addicted to the FromSoft games. But yeah, they're not for everybody.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry you wasted money on this for me.
Not at all. You gave it a shot. I appreciate it.
I'm constantly giving it a shot, though. I'm always like, maybe I need to give it another chance. Oh, goddamn you. And then I uninstall it and throw my controller.
Rage quits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Maybe that's what Brian intended all along. Maybe this is him getting back for all those times you played Ren and Stimpy on Sega and you kept fucking up on purpose.
I mean, FromSoft's game.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Are sadistic. But anyway.
Brian plays the long game, man.
Any more fresh shit, or should we move on with the show?
I'm good to move on if
I'm good.
You want.
All right.
Rock and roll. Ding 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 ding. That's my impression of the Twilight Zone theme.
So Twilight Zone, the movie. So this one's been sitting in the chamber for a while, waiting to be foisted on the podcast.
Interesting to see how many people would like. It's a show nobody is really familiar with anymore that had a movie version of it years later, and it's like now nobody knows the movie version or the TV show. They might know.
I think it's
the cultural expression Twilight Zone, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, when it came out, Twilight Zone was pretty much in perpetuity syndication, so you could always catch it somewhere. So I think it still had the market for it, but it's just, I'm always just sort of confused by the existence of the movie. If I'm
yeah. So we're in peak boomer, right? Like we're talking like Dan Aykroyd is like 30, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
In this. We're at risk of reenacting the opening of the movie, which is just Albert Brooks and Dan Aykroyd talking about, hey, you remember this thing? That was cool, you know, and doing the Chris Farley show.
Boomers boomering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if Landis had sort of shown some restraint and the opening would have been a little shorter and would have just been about two guys on a road trip talking about Twilight Zone, I think that would have fit the architecture. But
John Landis does not know restraint. He can't even kill an actor simply.
That's the other thing, which we can get into.
Well, it's kind of impossible to bring up Twilight Zone the movie without talking about that. But let's talk about Twilight Zone, the concept first, right? Like, so I don't know about you guys, but Twilight Zone, because of the reruns, it made a hell of an impression on me as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And part of it is the fact that it was made in the early 60s, so it's black and white television. There's, the soundtrack only shows up when it has to, so there's a lot of eerie silence. Like, the show itself is just creepy. And Rod Serling's writing and the writers that they brought on, under his direction, really did a lot of great, clever, possibly never really been matched. Great twist fiction.
It's cerebral terror because it's rarely, jump cuts or scary monsters, while they're there, they're not what you show up for. You show up for, it's a cookbook. Or Wish It into the Cornfield. These things that just in your head ring terrifying.
Yeah. And to be fair, some of the episodes are light. Some of them are super dark. And so
some of them are forgettable. Yeah.
Yeah. And some are forgettable. And that's sort of what you get with the movie version. It's sort of just, it's an all encompassing, condensed version of the Twilight Zone experience. Because you've got some super dark episodes. You've got the sort of the light, nostalgic episode, and then you've got whatever Landis did, which is like, what the fuck is even like? Hit me over the head with a hammer a little bit more. Why don't you?
Well,
with your thesis.
So you got a bunch of boomer movie guys who grew up watching this thing, who literally probably just I don't know that there was a script for that opening sequence with Albert Brooks and Dan Aykroyd, other than maybe there was a tape recording of the producers of this movie going, "Hey, remember this one?" And so they basically got the rights and said, well, what if we made the movie an anthology? And the original intent was to have several movies where they kept doing several episodes per movie and to bring it back as a cinematic thing. But mostly it was kids these guys getting to play with their childhood IP, right?
And it's weird because it's like the whole notion of this was just, hey, we're going to do remakes of our favorite episodes, basically. Yes. And it's like, that always turns me off just right off the bat. Because it's like, well, why would you do that? Because you've already got these great episodes that you can just watch. Why do I need to see it remade? And so that's sort of where I come from.
Though Spielberg's and Dante's bits are like perfectly them. It's somehow it's like they did take the original and meld it into their own voice, which I can appreciate. And everything that is John Landis just sucks dick.
It's so terrible. I mean, so don't get me wrong. I like
and George Miller. George Miller, of course, is the best one. That's the one everyone remembers.
George Miller
don't
and
know.
Joe Dante easily have the best two
Yeah.
bits in this movie.
And we can get into this too because it's all tied into all of the bullshit.
We're just going to have to get there, right? So there's four stories. There is the one directed by John Landis, which is an original script for this movie.
But it's loosely based on two different Twilight Zone episodes that he sort of smooshed together.
Okay.
So it's still pulling from the original series.
And so that one, I don't know that one has a name, but it is, well, fuck it. Let's just do it.
We can call it the bookend.
Well, there's the bookend
Aykroyd shows up at the end.
with Aykroyd and Albert Brooks, but I was actually getting into the Vic Morrow one.
Vic Morrow's last movie,
the actual
R.I.P.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is also the part directed by John Landis, in which we are introduced to just a normal American Trumper, really.
The world's biggest bigot.
So
he's not afraid to cast euphemisms around in a bar. Where other
so
people
I'm
might
going to
be.
put a clip here because I wrote the timestamp down when I watched it, because Vic Morrow is basically just playing a Trumper. He's just absolutely a white supremacist dickhead.
I don't know what's the matter with this country, but it's getting tougher and tougher to earn a living. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because of the Jews, because of the blacks, because of the Orientals.
You're ranting, Bill.
Yeah, I'm ranting. Why not? You know who owns my house? Jap Bank. I'll tell you something else. Niggas live not more than 6 blocks from my house. 6 blocks.
Excuse me, mister. Have you got a problem?
Yeah, I got a lot of problems.
Look, I really don't care what you gentlemen think, as long as we don't have to listen to it.
It's okay, no problem. My friend's a little upset, that's all. I got some bad news today.
Plus, but he's also got the victimhood down. It's just this. That was the one thing that struck me rewatching it now. I'm like, holy fuck, Mag is just this dude. Can we just send them all back in time so their heads get chopped off with fucking helicopter blades?
But here's the thing, right? We were watching this in 2025, and in 1983, when this movie comes out, the audience is just assumed to understand that this guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's really not that complicated. He's an asshole. Fuck him, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't remember even thinking at the time he was a racist. I thought this is a guy who needs help. You know, it's like we don't quite have that empathy for bad people anymore either.
yeah.
Well, but Landis does it so heavy-handed that there's absolutely zero sympathy for the character whatsoever.
Well,
so he goes
so-
on this journey to become a better person and see the world through other people's eyes. But it's like
this is
so
the cruel
flat.
irony of this episode. So they were doing a reshoot because they did a test screening of it, and they're like, there's no sympathy for this character.
Yeah.
So they were going to give him a redemption arc where, so what happens is this bigot ends up stumbling out of a bar and stumbles into like Nazi Germany, but he's a Jew. And then he falls down and he's a black guy getting lynched by John Larroquette somehow in a KKK robe. And then eventually he ends up as a Vietnamese guy in Vietnam because it's the 80s and everybody's going to make Vietnam shit. But his redemption arc was that he was going to rescue 2 children from, a village getting burned or something. And in shooting this, first of all, they completely violated the labor laws of California. The kids were being paid under the table to work under night. And the pyro guy sets off pyro, takes out the back of a helicopter that was hovering overhead, and it comes down and beheads Vic Morrow and kills the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
The chopper falls sideways, so the spinning blades, just whack right into the 3 of them. And that's right. The stunt guy was telling him beforehand, you can't do this. We're in a box canyon. If you're sending off explosions with a helicopter, the helicopter is going to go, out of control. I don't know how they did it anyway, but
the whole thing is just a bad scene from top to bottom.
And this movie, this happens during production.
It's right at the very beginning.
Continues to be produced and gets released. This would not happen today under any circumstances.
This thing would have been shut down so fast. Holy Christ.
But Warner Brothers so wanted to be in the Steven Spielberg business in the year following E.T. that they kept this thing alive.
So
and it plays out too, and that's one reason that it's such a disjointed affair.
yeah,
Like I think at one point, because Spielberg was not going to do Kick the Can, he was going to do
the monsters are due on Maple Street.
yeah, and so he had a change of heart. And then you watch Kick the Can, and it's just so lackluster, so like nostalgia, hazy eyed, blah blah blah. It's
So
just you could tell.
Spielberg.
Yeah, but you could tell that like his sales just don't have any wind in him at that point. It's just like he's doing it by rote. And then you get into Dante's.
Well,
and
let's just stick with Spielberg for a minute, right? So yeah, Spielberg chooses not to do one of the best Twilight Zone episodes ever,
right,
and
which was a mistake,
and makes this unwatchable piece of shit.
I disagree. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Bring it.
Yeah. So Eric, you like the little girl that's talking like an old Jewish woman? Does that do it for you?
Well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily like Steven Spielberg's oof, but I understand it. And he picked one that is so perfectly in his wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
It's like this is the kind of schmaltz he does very well. And if you were going to remake this one, he's the guy to do it. I think he hit his objectives is basically what I'm saying. It's not the best one, but just on its own merits is very good. He manages to make this scenario of elderly people made young. Wow, he does it better than Cocoon, certainly.
That's fair. And Scatman Crothers is all kinds of charisma.
Well, what struck me rewatching it though is how much of this he borrowed to make Hook. It's like literally the same movie, and I'm like, holy shit! He like couldn't get it out of his system, and so it was just very off-putting. But when you look at it, he's coming off of E.T., he makes this, and then his next movie is Temple of Doom, which is like just so dark on so many levels. It's like, what happened to you, man? Well, divorce, obviously.
Well,
but damn.
What strikes me about it, I mean, first of all, yes, Spielberg is trying to. I guess the thing about Monsters on Maple Street is they would have had to have child actors at nighttime, and that was going to be a problem for them given what had just happened.
Exactly. Yeah, but no helicopters, so I don't see why. But
but pyro. But the man, the older I get, the more I realize that golden era of Spielberg and Lucas is really the golden era of Jerry Goldsmith and John Williams.
Yes.
Okay. The schmaltz is Jerry Goldsmith, who did the Wrath of Khan score. Has Jerry Goldsmithiest.
No, that he didn't do Wrath of Khan.
Sorry, am I wrong? Who did Wrath of Khan?
Well, I mean, he did the first Star Trek theme, the theme that ended up in.
Oh, you're right.
Next
You're
Generation.
right. Now I have to. James Horner. Sorry, he was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, Goldsmith did Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
You're right. Well, Well, Goldsmith is cribbing John Williams so hard.
Right.
In this, right? He is trying to drag all of the pathos out of the score he possibly can. It's a very 80s movie score. And for someone of our generation, at least, that shit just works. Like, those guys have got the orchestral keys to our emotional context.
Yeah.
I mean, so many of those movies were only successful, I think, because of John Williams. I mean, if you gave like a crap, I don't know, some kid with a Casio to do an original score for Jurassic Park, no one's showing up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Star Wars is all the theme music.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Star Wars works because of the music. It does.
But this one,
Indiana Jones could have been straight to video if it hadn't been for ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah. But it's just you're coming off of the whole Landis part, which is just it's like getting bludgeoned with a hammer with the thematics and whatnot. And then you get this, and it's just that gauzy nostalgia haze filled sort of wouldn't it be great to be young again? And then at the very end they get to the point where it's like, maybe not. And so that's sort of the bittersweet portion. But it just falls rather flat.
I'll give it this. I liked it better on this rewatch than I did when I was 12.
Oh,
Can't
definitely.
imagine why. It's not made for 12-year-olds.
Yeah. But right? I'm always just off put by when they become kids and then they're still doing the voices of the like the elderly actors. It's off-putting somehow to me.
But isn't that so very like sort of 80s-ish? I don't know. I
guess.
I mean,
I
A
want to hear
Christmas
why.
Story came out the same year as this movie.
Yeah, but I want to hear why Eric, among all of the stuff Spielberg's done, why this one sits appropriately for you.
I think, you know what? I probably, aside from the fact that it's just technically well done. I mean, you got to give him that. He's not some, indie movie shithead who's just learning how to focus the camera. This is somebody who really knows how to make films. But this kind of schmaltz is almost required right after the one where we know the guy was actually killed with a fucking helicopter, and it's grim. It's like everything about that first one is so grim, including what you know about went into making it, that you kind of need this to balance that. And
I guess, but it doesn't flow, right? Like all three of the other sequences are dark, 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 and then there's this one that's like fluffy, and that is to the point you were making earlier. That is in keeping with what the Twilight Zone was. When you tuned in each night, you didn't know if you were going to get a scary one or a not scary one, right?
Yeah.
So,
but the fact that they exist,
I don't think I had this reaction, when I was a kid and I watched this, but watching it now, I'm like, this definitely needs to be the second one, just to right the plane a little bit. The third one is a dark one originally that becomes a
even darker
saccharine
all right.
ending.
So let's
The ending of the third one is a betrayal of the original story.
Oh no,
in the name of making it a happier ending.
But it's so Dante though.
No. Okay, I'll go to my grave on this one.
Okay.
This is the best. So the remake, It's a Wonderful Life, which.
A Good Life.
It's a good life. Which, in fairness, it's one of those. It's perfect. Don't mess with it. That was the one with Billy Mooney as the little kid. Everybody thinks it was Ron Howard, but it was Billy Mooney, who does play one of the guys in the bar. By the way, he's in.
I love that Dante did that. It's like that. Like of all of the, like Miller to a degree, but Dante got the assignment. He nailed it.
This is so Dante, right? Because Dante is all about taking the shit that he liked when he was a kid and modernizing it. Right. And that's kind of his whole career. We did a podcast about that. And if you subscribe to the show, you can go find it. But this one just was like exactly what I wanted out of this. It was so twisted and messed up, and I think it's superior to the Twilight Zone episode. I really do. I get that you're right. The happy ending thing is a cop-out, but
I don't see it as a happy ending, though. I see it as a woman who feels obliged because she's a teacher, and this is a very traumatized young child who's clearly lost direction and has no structure. It's like, in order to save the world, she's got to take one for the team. You know what I mean?
Or she's going to manipulate him and do whatever she wants.
Exactly. And so you're not quite sure.
I don't get that impression from it, though. It's more she's going to, basically help the kid. Yeah, and I'm not saying, that it's necessarily unrealistic or wrong. It's just the original ends seriously dark,
Yes.
Yeah. And this one, they found a way to not have it end, in a horrifying way. There again, the original was also pretty much a one-act play. It doesn't go anywhere. So
but it's also got like Cloris Leachman and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a high bar, and it definitely ranks as one of the better, if not top 10 overall of the Twilight Zone episodes. So I can see why they pick it. But just the stuff that they do with it is just so crazy.
I always looked at that episode as like, a metaphor for fascism, that once it's in power, you can't stop it. And one person tries to, tries to kill Hitler, and everybody, they don't help. I guess looking at this one, maybe the ending message is somebody just needs to give Donald Trump a hug. I don't know.
a little bit.
So what I find great about this is the filmmaking of it, right? Like, and this is Joe Dante first of all, getting his big break, like the fact that all of the he's quoted in interviews as saying, the fact that Stevens and John Landis's segments weren't very well received gave me and George Miller a big leg up in our careers because everyone was talking about us. But first of all, I love that for most of this segment, the score is actually just edited cartoon soundtracks from the cartoons that are constantly playing on the TV, and they're always on point. The cartoons are the subconscious of the kid at all times, right? There's a character who's like, I'm going to leave this room, and opens a door, and all there is behind it is infinite doors, right? And you can't leave. And it is mess the hell up, and the cartoon characters are commenting on what is going on in the scene if you listen to what they're saying. So it is just so well constructed.
Well, of all of the segments in the movie, this is the one that is almost the perfect casting. Because you get Dick Miller shows up because it's Dante, so that's early. You get Bill Mumy in his cameo, but then you get the guy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah,
who shows up later in Inner Space. You get Yeardley Smith, the voice of Bart Simpson.
Right, I didn't know that was her until today.
That's such a weird meta mindfuck when you start looking at it from the modern perspective. So it's like,
Kevin McCarthy is the guy you're thinking about from Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I think that's Nancy Cartwright is Bart Simpson, right? Yeardley Smith is the sister.
Nancy Cartwright is Ethel, and that is her. And then the mother was somebody who had been in the original Twilight Zone, Patricia Barry,
and then Kathleen Quinlan, who people who watch stuff in the 80s know her work, but at the time it was.
Well, what about the dad, William Schaller? What's he from? Because
he's the dad from the Patty Duke Show.
Okay, because he's amazing.
Also, quick shout out for screenwriters. These last two that did well are both Richard Matheson, who is an incredible screenwriter and novelist. He's written some of my favorite books. He was the original I Am Legend writer. For the novel, The Shrinking Man, What Dreams May Come. He's like built for Twilight Zone-y type shit. And I don't think it's any mistake that the two really good segments were written by him.
Yeah,
I agree wholly.
The weakest casting in this episode is actually the kid. He's not great.
I looked it up because I'm like, why does he look so familiar? I guess he was one of the younger brothers on the one that Bateman did with Rhoda.
The Hogan family?
The Hogan family, yeah. He was like one of the younger brothers on that show. I was like, okay.
Great. He can do the 1,000-yard stare, but he's not a great child actor. I've seen so much better,
like if you compare the episode to the movie, like Bill Mumy has it hands down. Yeah, like he's just locked in. But this one, it's sort of like,
but the lighting, passable, but it's
the
like set design, the sound design, the cinematography, the creatures by Rob Bottin. How do we pronounce his name?
Bottin, I believe.
It's this one just. This one hits all of the Joe Dante notes, and Joe Dante is my jam.
And this is where it's really starts to get weird with this movie because of all the horribleness that happened with the Landis episode. The fact that they kept any of the Landis stuff is just still staggering to me. B, because all of that was going on, Spielberg and Landis had a big falling out, and so the production was just like fucking crazy apparently. And so Dante's like, yeah, they just left me and Miller alone, more or less.
Yeah.
But then you get to the Miller episode, and he basically was so disgusted with how Landis was approaching all of the stuff that he just left. And so Dante ended up finishing the edit for the fourth one. So his imprimatur is on all of this second half of the movie, which is the good part of the movie. And so God bless him, because I don't think it would have been watchable otherwise.
I do think that segment 3 was screaming, please make Haley Joel Osment exist. Because it would have killed that shit if they got him at the right age.
So the final one, The final one is a take on Nightmare at 20,000 feet, but it is now Nightmare at 35,000 feet.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is above the clouds, and none of this makes any sense, but fine.
It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to.
So we replace a rather unwatchable William Shatner and an even less watchable teddy bear gremlin from the original with the sweatiest John Lithgow you've ever seen.
It's literally like his audition reel for Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, oh my God. Like every face he does where he's panicked, I'm like, that's Lord John Worfen. Lizardo,
him
man.
freaking out is so believable. I feel so bad for this man freaking out because it's like, oh yeah, he's legit losing it.
And everything about this is just so great. Like, yeah, there's two lines everybody remembers from this movie, and one of them is Dan Aykroyd going, "You want to see something really scary?" And the other one is John Lithgow screaming, "There's a man on the wing of this plane!" Just losing his mind.
Yeah. But this one too, it's like we don't have to belabor. Everybody who's seen the Twilight Zone knows everything about this. Like the gremlins on the wing, the crazy guy's the only one that's seen it. Nobody believes him. Blah blah blah. So when the plane finally lands, I love that they kept where everybody's on the ground, they're safe, and then the ground crew is looking over the plane, and then they go to the engine, and you see it's just all like torn to shit and claw marks and everything on it. I'm like, that's just classic Twilight Zone denouement. It's just like boom.
Oh no, the bit where he's being wrestled by everyone, including the Sky Marshal, and then the hand with the gun comes out of that dog pile. Oh, that was so badass. I forgot how good that was.
Actually, my favorite bit in this particular episode is there's a point where he wrests a Polaroid camera away from an irritating kid, and he tries to take a picture of the gremlin, and all he gets, because the flash hits the plastic of the window, is a reflection of his own completely fucked up face.
Yeah. And I love that the interaction too with the gremlin, because there's the one point where he's like, I think it's after he's blown a hole in the window and he's like face to face gremlin. He's telling him to stop, and the gremlin kind of just looks at him and pulls up one finger and starts going, no. I'm like, oh God, that is just the most, that's just the creepiest thing I can think of at that point, where the monster's just like, I don't give a shit. Nuh-uh. Finger wag. It's like, that's a nice touch, man. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
But the fact that Miller just like walked off, like wouldn't even finish it in the edit, I was like, oh, it's just insane.
There's a documentary about John Landis. I cannot remember what it's called, but it was just a couple of years ago. And he is such a disgusting person that his takeaway from this whole period was, basically, how dare everybody ostracize me for killing a guy through incompetence? Because what you gonna do, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
it's pretty much
don't quite get
with the trumpiness of his segment. They all got off. They got charged with manslaughter, and they were all found not guilty because, of course, they were.
But you also have to figure that the karmic justice, though, is pretty good, because he was coming off Trading Places, American Werewolf in London, Blues Brothers, Animal House, blah blah blah, and then look at his '80s output. I mean, it's just
he seems to have done just fine.
I mean, it's there's a lot of stuff where it's like, yeah, it's notable, but it's just none of it is just of that level. And then you get into the 90s and his career just completely falls fucking apart. So it's just, I don't doubt there's a thing called karma looking at that perspective.
Yeah, but there's also a complete lack of self-reflection with this guy. And there's a Fellini book I have. It's really like wonderful sort of it goes through his whole career. It's got all these great stills from images, and there's a section of all the letters he received, fan letters from notables, Anthony Quinn, Marcello Mastroianni, people he worked with. One of them is John Landis, and in the letter he starts bitching about how they screened American Werewolf in London and it was all right. It's like, dude, you're talking to Fellini about your dumbass vampire movie? Fuck you.
And that's and that's kind of the I mean, there are a few weak points in the Twilight Zone movie, but the weakest by far is just that Landis has still managed to be involved in it after everything that happened. It's like, that's just cut it to 3 segments and just get on with it. Like that's just a lot of it's just fairly distasteful. But what gets me is that they let him do the bookends with "You want to see something really scary?"
Yeah, that was lame.
The thing that always bothers me about that is like it starts out, it's Aykroyd and Albert Brooks just driving in the desert at night, and it's like the way it's set up is like they're buddies, they're on a road trip, but then at the very end it makes no fucking sense because suddenly it's like Aykroyd just turns into the monster and eats his friend. I'm like, that's just there to be there, and it just at that point, like, all right, I'm dubious at best with this enterprise at this stage, and so that kind of sets the wrong tone for me. And so at that point, you got to slog through the first 2 episodes to get to Dante's, and then things really start picking up steam. So it's really like 2 different sessions.
Just watch the second half of this movie. The Joe Dante and the George Miller bits are both, in my opinion, superior to the original Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do this, you have to hit that bar. Those 2 do. The rest does not. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Although,
got the assignment.
In addition to the airplane being at the wrong altitude, the other most unreal thing is just the sheer size of the airplane row John Lithgow is in, with 2 windows and all to himself with an ashtray.
I mean, it's just, what do you do?
1982, people.
But overall, it's just sort of it's weird that this movie exists at all. But I get it because of the boomer nostalgia thing. But I do appreciate that it laid the groundwork to bring back Twilight Zone on the TV, but also amazing stories and some of that anthology stuff that was really top par.
The 80s. The 80s Twilight Zone is the only other. Well, I mean, they've kept trying to revive it, and I'll give Jordan Peele credit for being the right guy. But the 80s Twilight Zone, especially the first season of the 80s
revival,
Twilight Zone.
2002 revival, 2019 revival.
The 2002 revival, not so much. The 2019, that's the Jordan Peele one. But the 80s one was really good and worthy, I think, follow-up. But yeah, you're right. You got amazing stories and even Tales from the Dark Side, I think.
That's true. It definitely paved the way for the sort of the 80s updates to the 60s, 50s anthology TV.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at it.
It's just a weird oddity.
It is what they mean when they say uneven. It is an uneven collection.
Yes.
But I don't think I've ever seen an anthology movie where that wasn't the case. So,
true.
It is what it is.
Someone's got to do the shitty one.
and
I'm glad it was Landis.
Yeah. Is it just me, or is John Landis and Leonard Maltin visually indistinct from one another?
Yes.
Yep.
If you tell me to picture John Landis, I'm probably picturing Leonard Maltin in my head.
I mean, honestly, they're the same person. Really.
Okay, just checking. It wasn't just me. All right,
you've stumbled onto the secret, sir.
I'm trying to think. Like, excuse me. Oh, God damn it.
I can understand why it's hard for you to think under those circumstances.
Yeah. No, you just made me think of Fellini doing one of those kinds of
anthology.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and his was the strong one, and the other 2 were shit. It's like,
That's how it works. That's how it works, man. But at the very least, again, it gave us some good anthology TV later down the line, but it also gave us Joe Dante's career, more or less. So
yay! I mean, without this, Gremlins doesn't happen the next year, and we can be thankful for that. So
I think if you want to understand boomer nostalgia, this is probably a good place to start.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
it's no batteries not included, but that's just me.
I did struggle a little bit, going through this and looking up the ages of all the actors as they were doing this, like.
And they're like 15 years younger than you.
God, yeah, Lithgow isn't even 40 in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
Just like, oh, kill me. So
ravages of time. It's almost like you're in the Twilight Zone, my man. It's almost like that.
Anyway, so if you want to feel old like I do, keep listening to this podcast. Subscribe to it, and you can listen to it all the time and feel old. And share it with your social media feeds with your friends and make them feel old. And then if you want to feel really old, check out how many episodes there are of this podcast by going to our website, maghuge.com, where you can get all the old episodes and links to our socials. And then you can find links to either like hit us there or email us at magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com and tell me how old I am. There you go.
And we're never going to stop. We're never going to stop. Eat a dick. We're going to do this forever. We're going to get AI to use our voices. We'll keep making this.